My sister has a daughter who has her own smartphone. She can maneuver that phone better than I can. She loves to play games and watch videos and spends close to 4 hours a day on it. She is only 3 years old. I work in a kindergarten class with 20 students and almost half of them have a smartphone. When should you give your child a smartphone? Balancing your child's wants and needs with what you feel is best for them can be tricky. Dr. Wick from the Child Mind Institute advises delay the age of first smartphone as long as possible. I'm a dinosaur among my friends because I wouldn't give my kids a cell phone until they were in high school and a smartphone when they went to college. My sons at age 9 and 11 constantly said, "I'm the only one without a phone. All my friends have one. Why can't I?" So when they finished 8th grade, my husband and I bought them a flip phone. No data, just talk and text. According to them, I was a mean mom, but I just wanted to protect them. Today, I want to talk about the dangers of smartphones, how to determine if your child is ready for one, and set rules and guidelines for your children to follow when they do receive one. Before you add your child to your cell phone plan, consider some of these dangers and why waiting until your child is older and more responsible before giving them a smartphone is the better option. First of all, smartphones are expensive. So why would you give a 3-year-old an expensive phone? According to research conducted by the Kaiser Foundation, cell phone use harms a child's health. When the brain is exposed to excessive use of technology, it can lead to problems like attention deficit disorder, cognitive delays, learning problems, a lack of self-control. Phones can change a child-parent relationship. A child won't develop those deep personal relationships. Here's a picture of a family all sitting on the couch playing on their phone, not communicating with one another. They can also become an addiction. The more time on a phone, the harder to stop the behavior. They can also limit the creative minds and impede their ability to learn. Here's a picture of some children on a playground. Instead of swinging on the swings and on the slides, they're playing on their cell phones. According to an analytic firm, Puri, children and teens spend 5 hours a day on a phone. 5 hours. A public health survey in the UK asked 14 to 18-year-olds how social media platforms impacted their health and well-being. Survey results found Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram all led to increased feelings of depression, anxiety, poor body image, obesity, and loneliness. Video games desensitize our children to violence. Dr. Catherine Adair, a clinical psychologist and an author of The Big Disconnect, said kids miss out on critical social skills when they're on their phones. Privacy concerns are also a danger. The GPS can locate where your child is, and strangers will see their location. The Journal of Pediatrics found 1,300 middle school students ranging from 10 to 15 years old. 60% anonymously said they had viewed pornography, sent inappropriate pictures, posted risky comments or pictures or videos without their parents even knowing. And lastly, text and talk while driving is another danger teens face. So now you know some of the dangers. How do you determine when your child shall receive a smartphone? Bill Gates, who is the tech billionaire from Microsoft, said his kids weren't allowed a smartphone until they were in high school, and then he limited their screen time. A website, Common Sense Media, gives practical questions you can ask yourself before giving your child their first phone. Does the child need a phone for safety? Will they follow the rules for phone use and for apps downloaded? Can you trust them not to use it while they're driving? Or to text in class? Or use the text, photo, and video functions responsibly? Are they responsible with their belongings? And will that old-fashioned flip phone be sufficient? When you determine when your child should receive a phone and decide to take that plunge, set clear rules and guidelines in a conversation before they receive that device. Rules should come across as, this is how it's done in our house. If you wait until there's problems and then react, phone rules are going to come across as a punishment. I have 5 simple rules a parent should apply. Number 1, no phones in the bedroom at night. Kids need their sleep. If allowed to have a phone in their room, they may text their friends all hours of the night. The best way to carry out this rule is everyone in the house should put their phones in one location overnight to charge. Parents too. Get a box that charges multiple electronics at one time and put it in the kitchen. And then have a set time when all phones need to be shut down. If kids say they need their phone for their alarm, buy them a cheap alarm clock. Problem solved. Number 2, no cell phones during meals or during family time. Phones are turned off so you can have uninterrupted time together. Number 3, set up parental controls. There are numerous parental controls available on almost all smartphones. Decide which apps your child can use. Especially for young teens, set time limits, track their calls, monitor their social media, and make sure they're not looking at anything or sending anything inappropriate. Number 4, get passwords. Have your child give their passwords on their phone and become a friend with them on social media so you know who their friends are. As long as they're not doing anything wrong, they're not going to resist. And number 5, no text or talking while driving. Take the time to talk to your children and why you're setting up these rules and the importance of driving safe, surfing the internet, and using social media. Many kids don't understand the dangers. Make sure you stick to the rules and establish consequences if they're not followed. It's more important to keep your child safe than it is to make them happy. No doubt, trying to decide which age is appropriate to give your child a smartphone is tough. But remember, smartphone age is tough on a child too. As we discussed, parents need to be aware of the dangers associated with smartphones, determine when and if your child is ready to accept the responsibilities, and then set rules and guidelines before you give your child a phone. Just because your child is intelligent or smart enough to use a smartphone doesn't mean they're mature enough or responsible enough to use